Good evening, everybody. How's it going? Everybody having a good July? Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I'm Ferris, in case you don't know. Who's new here, by the way? Oh, okay. No, you're not. No, behind you. Anyway. So yeah, welcome to the Salt Lake City Python meetup group. We are a 916, I think, members of people who are interested in Python in Salt Lake City. We might be 1,000 next month, who knows? If you invite your friends, we will be. We were started about 2.5 years ago, right? Is that right? And it was kind of to have a further north meetup group, I think. And Matt's just looking at me right now. He's like, we were the OG meetup group.
We used to meet north of this, so.
Yeah, they also used to meet in university. Anyway, this one seems to be pretty popular too, and we have pizza, so which you guys also did, I think. So, yeah, we provide resources, or Utah Python as a consortium provides resources for all the other meetups around Utah, and we'll talk about those other Python meetup groups. Because I know I already started with the best, and now I have to talk about the other ones. Right? So, anyway, speaking of which, we also have Python Utah North, which has a new leader, which is my dad. Sorry about the nepotism, but you know that's how it goes. He's going to give a spiel about his thing, I think.
I don't know how many of you know Dave Ringstrom. He started Utah Python North. He's been around for about 1.5 years. And right now he's on sabbatical. We've had lower membership than you guys, obviously. Our last meetup was 4 people. We peaked around 20 about a year ago. So our next meetup, we decided to try to reboot the enterprise, and we started to think that we can attract more members and active members if we have a mix of beginner and senior discussions in the same session. So next month's meetup is going to be for people who just starting out, basically know your computer, want to come in and learn how to use Python. And if you know anybody up in the Logan area or Brigham City who's interested in meeting, we meet right now on the 3rd Tuesday of every month, which is also open to negotiation at the moment. But if you want to send them our way, feel free. It's Utah Python North.
Cool, Utah Python North. Also, everybody, round of applause. It's my dad's 30th anniversary, so yeah, I remember stuff sometimes.
Ferris was engaged last week.
That's why, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, so that's why I canceled. Well, I moved up last Wednesday's meetup. So our next meetup's actually going to be the first Wednesday again. We're not going to keep skipping it again. The meetup before was skipped because of PyCon, which is a good reason. Engagement, not as great of a reason. Pretty good reason, I think, but PyCon overall, right? Don't tell my fiance that. Looking at Levi over here. Let's see. What else? We also have the Py Ladies, Salt Lake City Py Ladies. That's their meetup group. Oh, I need to add Girl Develop It. Or somebody else can. So if you guys don't know, this is actually an Etherpad. The link is posted at the very bottom of the description of the meetup.com group. We used to use Mopad, but I just can't use Mopad lately anymore. I don't know what's been up with it. You can ask Dan, he works for Mozilla, so why is Mopad not?
So we were writing over the Etherpad that had severe security problems.
Okay.
And someone finally found it.
That's tend to be nowadays.
So public Etherpad.mozilla.org is now available again, so you can start using that.
Okay, we will. Maybe. Just kidding. I'm just messing with Dan over here. We actually have a visitor from Minnesota today, so everybody say hi to Dan. Try not to harass him too much. He is a celebrity today. So. Of course, Kyle Rich is our other celebrity today. So there we go. We also have Python at the Point. These are the South Valley people. So if anybody who wants to go south, you could go down there for Python at the Point. I believe their meetup this month is combined into ours. I don't know what Herlo decided, but they're really cool. And then if you want to go way south.
Their meetup is tomorrow night at the open source conference.
At Open West? Oh, they got an Open West meetup, so that's even better. So if you're at Open West, you can go to the Python at the Point meetup. Awesome. Yeah, everything south of I-80, that's their domain. So I'll just let them have it. I'm just kidding. There's no turf war. There is a turf war. Provo is everything south of Point of Mountain. And you can go to PyWasatch. So our many websites include, oh yeah, thank you. Awesome. Our many websites include saltlakecitypython.com or slcpy.com, both work, utahpython.org, and our GitHub repos are here. If you give a talk and it has a GitHub repo, we will fork it onto ours. And if I haven't for a while, just ping me and I totally will. Our sponsors tonight, eventboard.io, round of applause for them. They sponsored the pizza. Thanks, guys. And they also posted their job openings over there, but I'll let them give a spiel in a second. Pythonistas like you, give yourselves a pat on the back, thank you. Cue the PBS music, all that other stuff. Zaniac is the sponsor of the venue, so that's where I work. I'll give more of an intro later. And I don't know, is Sid up there still?
Yeah.
Thanks, Sid. Everybody, round of applause for Sid. Woo! That's all for you, buddy. It's all for the man upstairs. And Tech Systems is a previous sponsor. Now they are a quarterly. It is a new quarter, so I will be hitting them up pretty soon. New sponsors are always appreciated. So if you know anybody who wants to sponsor a meetup group, the pizza costs are all listed on meetup.com/slcpython/money. You can actually see all of our accounting. It's all open for everybody to take a look at. The only thing we do is anonymize people's names when they're contributing individually. Cool. So we always do a spiel where, well, we used to do a spiel where everybody would go around the room and say their name, their occupation, and something completely non-programming related. But we decided that we're too big to do that now. So to scale that up, we're going to do name, occupation, favorite firework if you're new. So raise your hand if you're new. Cool, and I'll start because I'm new. You know, I'm Ferris. I'm CTO here at Zaniac. My favorite firework are the ones that like go up and then they like look like a willow, you know, during 4th of July. Those are my favorite. Raise your hand. Keep your hands raised, and I'll just pick somebody randomly. Dan.
I'm Dan, Taliban on Twitter. I work at Mozilla as an engineer and developer relations. And my favorite firework are the little mortars that go off in the alley behind my apartment from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. every night last week.
I will make sure to tweet that followers. And then pick somebody else with their hand up, will you? Popcorn style.
My name is Kevin. I'm a recovery secondary math teacher, and I like all fireworks.
Awesome. So who's up next?
My name is Eric Hurst. I work at eventboard.io. My favorite fireworks are the ones that go up and they don't have much light, but they have a really loud boom.
The loud
It
ones.
looks like you need that.
Nice.
And the car.
Yeah. Who's next? Elliot, looks like you're up.
Yeah, I'm Elliot. I'm a frequently unemployed programmer by choice. But when I am employed, I'm a programmer. And didn't see any fireworks at all.
So do you have a favorite from like any time?
It's not far away from, but it's still see.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Who's up next? You get to pick. Did you?
Oh, okay.
Jonathan. I work at a company called Reliant. I'm the quality assurance director. My favorite firework is quantum torpedoes.
Quantum
Star
torpedo.
Trek.
Oh, nice. Nice. You just had to out nerd us, didn't you? Freaking QA people, man.
At least he made sure he did it right.
Yeah, right? Who's up? It's Jolene.
Zach, I'm a DevOps engineer at Motorola Solutions. Big firework is
probably the road we came in because no matter how many I got shot at me as a teenager, I still have both eyes.
Nice. Nice.
Well done.
And who's up next? Go down the line.
I'm Allie. I'm a freelance front-end developer, and I guess I like the ones that kind of explode and burst into like a bunch of shooting star-esque looking things. Yeah.
Good choice. And who's up next? You get to pick another new person. There are a bunch to your right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you got to pick.
I'm so sorry.
I'm Anish, and I work at SanDisk DevOps. And my favorite fiber is something you can throw by hand.
And keep your hand after, right? Or is that optional?
What's that?
Keeping your hand afterwards is optional, right?
Well, you can throw it away from the fiber. You're going to keep your hand.
Nice. So who's up next? You get to pick.
My name is Django. I'm a developer at Linux. I work for him. And I like Framwork.
Nice. And who's up next?
I'm Brian Masad here. My favorite fireworks are the ones you have to do it.
Yeah. This man knows his fireworks.
I think it's gotten pretty relaxed up here.
But you can't get bottle rockets here. I tried. Who's up next? You get to pick.
My name is Sean, Director of Programming at SLCPython at Framwork. I would actually like to offer into this account. A good thing to do is to put them under the toilets.
Yes.
My name is Blaine. I guess I'm a full stack freelancer. And honestly, this is dumb, but I like sparklers. They're the closest thing to a lightsaber I'll ever get.
Nice. Cool. Who else is new? I know you're out there. No?
No.
Nobody's out there. Okay, cool. Well, welcome new people. You've now made your first contribution to the group by selecting the next person, except of course, last guy in the chain, but that's okay. And yeah, so let's move on. We always have this general agenda. I like to have a competition to see. Yeah, we'll see in a sec. Who's hiring right now? Anybody know of companies that are hiring in the community? I know Event Board is. Dylan, do you want to give the spiel or? Yeah. Dylan's giving the spiel.
Okay. So I work with these guys at Event Board. We build tools and gather data on people's workplaces in order to make automations and inform so that people's work lives can suck less. We're a really fun company. We're hiring now for a lot of positions. On my team, mine and Eric's, we work mostly like organizing data, analyzing, processing, and visualizing. We are looking for a database engineer, DBA. We're looking for a Python engineer for infrastructure and data science, business intelligence person to analyze the data we have. And then we're also looking for a senior front-end web developer for visualizations and that. You can find, if you go to eventboard.io/careers, they're all there. Those are printed out from them.
Awesome. Cool. Who else is hiring? You know somebody?
Yeah, I'm Tom Strom, and I'm at HireVue down in South Jordan, and we are looking for full stack developers. We are a Python Django operation on the back end, and so if you like the Django stuff here tonight, you want to work on it for embedding, come check out HireVue. Front end is Angular and switching over to React. So there's a lot of room for talent and experience. If you come talk to me afterward, and I'll tell you more about it.
Cool. Who else? Oh, gentlemen.
My name is Brad Walker. Work with StorageCraft. Our core technology is a backup solution for physical and virtual servers. You give it kind of like a version control for any kind of system. You can roll back to any point in time. You can migrate between physical and virtual. We have a lot of openings for a lot of different types of technology. We have C# development, Java development. We have people writing Linux, Windows drivers do backups. And we also have 3 teams doing Python development, cross-platform, with native GUI development, web development, and cloud stuff. So we're hiring a lot of positions. Check out our website, storagecraft.com.
I'll go. I'm Levi Thatcher. I'm from the New Data Science Group at Health Catalyst for Common Heights. We do data warehousing and analytics for healthcare companies across the US. And we're going to hire 1 or 2 data scientists. So I just look on our job board at Health Catalyst.
Come on, you're doing really interesting stuff though, like with health
so we
data.
want to learn how. Well, we want to make Python R packages that do machine learning for the rest of the company and for our clients.
Like stuff like tracking down flu or things like that. Yeah. You could be one of those people that tracks the zombie infection and says, it's here. And then nobody will listen to you. So awesome. Anybody else know people hiring or are hiring? Well, once, going twice. I'm getting like bombarded with messages to the point where I'm telling people now, if you want to, if you want to recruit people, you actually have to come to a meetup. So thank you for coming to the meetup. Awesome. So who's looking? Anybody looking for work right now and want to put your deets on here? And introduce yourself and what you're good at. Elliot, I know you are. You raised your hand.
Yeah. I mean, I've done a rather big variety of programming in the past. Mostly right now I'm interested in back-end programming. Doesn't have to be anything too interesting.
Do you mind if I write your email?
Oh yeah, I mean, TOP at YORU dot TO.
Awesome. Gentlemen.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I like Python. I've done a couple like random. Wrote a data migration thing in Python. Really interesting. There's a couple like video editing scripts that I've written to automate stuff. Anyway, but like, I like the full stack thing. I'm interested in making something work in such a way that I can see it.
Mind if I have your email on here?
Yeah.
SH, sorry? Cool. Anybody else? There's a gentleman right in front of Blaine.
My name's Bob Davis. I work at I Am Flash right now. So I've been an engineer for 9 years and been coding in Python and R forever. And I really enjoy data science, play with data all day. And we'd love to chat about some opportunities.
For sure. Levi's like eyeing you right now. What was your email, Bob?
It's RW Davis 579 at Gmail.
Cool. Anybody else? For once, going twice. Now, unlike recruiters, if you're looking for work, you can always message me or the board. I don't care about that. So it's more recruiters that are just filling up my inbox lately. So awesome. And I will just, I don't know, I'll just forward it along to the random recruiter. No, I'm just kidding. There you go. Community news in the Python world. Of course, it's Open West. And because I took a week-long vacation last week, I am not able to attend, but I know a lot of people are. So that's pretty cool. Any talks coming up at Open? Oh, Kyle's talk. There we go. Kyle's also going to be giving this talk Friday? Friday at Open West. So if you miss it tonight,
You can always watch it online.
If you want
Yeah.
to rerun,
yeah,
the Encore edition.
the Encore edition, or just send like we'll just fill the room with Pythonistas. Matt, you were saying there were not that many Python talks this year, but
There's a handful.
yeah,
I'm doing 3.
yeah. So now there's a handful. Sorry, what?
I have a talk coming up first Wednesday of August. It's you know, they're making new homeless shelters downtown, et cetera, to deal with the Rio Grande problem. And I keep seeing on the priority list, use tech to make better outcomes, or to help with better outcomes. And I've yet to see that bullet point expanded. So I will be giving the talk on my vision for how we can use tech to actually help the population.
Nice. Sorry, I can't see your name from here. Sean?
Yeah, Sean. And it's Climate Park Coalition has its weekly or monthly meeting first Wednesday of every month in October.
Yeah, it's called Coalition. Coalition. August 1st?
I think it's August.
Oh, that's when we have our talk, I think. Let's see.
Wednesday, yeah.
Yep.
So this would be like 2 or 3 p.m. I'm gonna Facebook live stream it, et cetera. So try to make it if you can. If you're down in the Rio Grande District at all, that community, it's a worthwhile thing to be involved.
Nice. Any other community news related to tech or Python? Nothing? Season 2 of Mr. Robot is happening. Like today, like right now. So I appreciate you guys coming here over that. Because that show is amazing.
We were promised a second screen here.
A second screen?
A second screen. Yeah. Season 2.
Upper screen, it's just the show.
Oh, yes, yes. No, I don't know. Maybe.
No.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's my biggest thing is that somebody's just going to spoil it for me and I'm just going to. I will ban you, I swear. Awesome. Yeah, anyway. He's dad joke, right, guys? Thanks, Dad. Louis' my actual father, so I'm allowed to say that. New topics, any new suggestions? Lucas, I have you written down for Click command line. Sure. Yeah, you're still keen on that? I'm tempted to do that versus PyInvoke because I've been using Invoke, but I started looking at Click and I like it a little more, so we should chat.
One more to tell the next. You should look at Hug.
Hug?
I actually played with that for a little separate project, but it does command line, it does Python module, and a REST.
What's it called?
All the same functions.
What's it called?
Hug.
HUG? Hug Python, nice.
If I talk about Click, I'll talk about Hug as well because I can show
So
like what I did. I have 2 projects ready.
I hacked on my own Python project because there was Prime Day and they were giving out dash buttons for 99 cents. So I got a bunch of them and I started using them just randomly. They're really fun to use in Python, so I'll have to check that out. Sweet. Any other proposals people want to do? We only got one talk. Dan, can we fly you down here from Minnesota?
Yeah, I mean, it's built a hub, man.
Yeah, right?
The cost of one pizza sponsorship.
Something to consider. We could have a celebrity come here. We'll start low. We'll start with Dan, and we'll move our way up to. I love you, man. I miss you. Yeah. Any other proposals? We got the request library, Python 3.5 or Python 3 talks are always good. Anybody willing to do a talk? Justin?
I could do a talk on profiling.
Justin, profiling. We're not racial profiling, guys. That would go against our code of conduct.
I could redo any of my Open West talks.
Whatever.
I'm doing one on list comprehensions, another one on testing, and another one on random forest. Any of those. If people are interested.
Sorry, what was it?
List comprehensions, sort of testing end to end, so like
Integration.
code talks, PyDoc test, and then random forest. Just
Random?
random forests. Yeah, it's machine learning.
Forest. I thought you said forks. Oh, like, okay. Any other people willing to do talk?
I can give a talk on OpenTV.
Bob. on OpenCV. I'd love a talk on OpenCV actually. So. Any other peeps want to give a talk? Awesome. And we have all of our other suggestions down here. If you guys think of more, just feel free to add them on the Etherpad. And oh yeah, and we also had a potential talk from Dylan or Sean about OAuth. So I'll keep that in mind. This still stands though. They will fight to the death to figure out who's going to give the talk on OAuth. So it's a requirement. Read the code of conduct, people. Come on. There we go. And our next meetup will be August 3rd. Awesome. So big moment is going to be Kyle's thing, but I'm going to give everybody like 3 minutes to get water and or more pizza. So thanks. You ready?
Yeah.
I have. I know how to do it in Stripe. We do it here. Yeah, we should have. We pay about it takes about
You can also find the release of the one of the things we did was Python, anybody number 42 right now? Okay, you got 1 minute to get back to your seats.
They do a free. One I missed.
Another thing that we did is we had 2 talks. We had a beginner talk, like a 5-minute beginner talk, and then we had
Yeah, you're still there. We're still
capitalize on that new thing.
Yeah, it's because our network is not that great here, so it's a start. That's all I can say. As long as the slides come out pretty well, that's the main thing. Our network sucks. I've been trying to get it fixed for, what quarter is it? Since Q1? Yep. Or one of the kids installed a virus that's like sucking up all our bandwidth and we don't know. Yeah. If you want, you're more than welcome. All right, let's get started. Kyle, you ready? You want me to give you a Python style? Sure. Dealer track? Yes. Kyle is a ninja at Dealer Track, and he's going to be giving a talk about Django REST framework that he will also be giving on Friday. So, golf clap for Kyle.
Thanks. Okay. Where's my slides?
Oh, yes. Ha, 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 ha. Sorry.
Okay. I'm talking about Django REST framework today. Screen share.
I knew I forgot a step. Might be. There we go. It says you're, oh, there we go.
Okay, does that show it?
Yes, got it.
Okay. Okay, Django REST framework. So, out of curiosity, I really don't know my audience here. How many people would feel comfortable starting a Django app right now? Okay. How many people are familiar with REST and RESTfulness to the point that they could look at an app and determine whether or not they think it's RESTful? Most people, okay. Sure, I mean, there's, yeah. This is an introduction level course or talk that I'll be giving at Open West, so if you have any feedback, please share. And feel free to follow along. The shortcut for this talk is at git.io/drfcc. Okay. I'm going to just give a quick overview of Django and REST. And then I'm going to introduce the project that I'm using as an example for the rest of talking about Django REST framework. And then we're going to talk about serialization.
at my work using Django REST framework in August of last year, and we're about to roll it out to our, how many customers do we have? I think we have about 3,000 customers and charge them millions of dollars per year for it. I wrote most of it. Scott Overholzer wrote the other half of it. Every time we came across something that we said, oh, REST framework doesn't do this yet, or I really wish there was a way I could do this, we found that all we had to do was take one of their base classes, instead of one of the magic classes like the model view set that does everything automatically, you just take the base view set class and extend it to do what you want. And all the basics are there, all of the pieces are there, ready to be assembled the way you need it to. And we found that we were writing custom code a fair bit, yes, but it was a lot simpler than it would have been otherwise. And the code base is clean. I mean, it's only 1,200 lines of code total. And it's amazing.
What do you deploy on like WSGI or something?
Yeah, micro WSGI. Yes.
I wanted to second your opinion on Django REST framework. I found that when you've written custom code, if you look at their code base and kind of mimic it a little bit, you end up with really nice dry code later on.
Yeah.
So when we've done that, we've had really successful code after that too, even in the spots where we've customized it, where you might expect the most rough edges.
Yep.
It's actually written really nice.
Yep.
I will maybe, so I will caveat that a little bit. I found that it had a pretty steep learning curve when you start to dive into a lot of the filtering backends and the different layers that you can put in. There's a lot of different ways you can do the same thing. And the ways that the REST framework wants you to do it are really slick, but I found that I had to go through the code quite a bit, figure out how to do it. And then once I was able to implement it, it was yeah, just a few lines of code, but it feels a lot like I have to like really sort of go through their maze to figure out their thinking before
I find myself reading the source code for REST framework more than I have with any other library I've ever used.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like I'm learning a lot, but yeah, I've felt the same thing.
Do you feel like you're in a position to write some data documentation?
for them.
Well, if someone will pay me, then yes.
So many like it's like looking at a big thing with a bunch of knobs. And there's all these knobs, and you know that like if I turn this one, it actually affects all of these. Like,
They are responsive though. Well, the guy, this person really runs.
Tom Christie.
Because I have submitted tickets and like, hey, you should do something like this or that, and then see things change, especially on the documentation side as a result.
If you go to Stack Overflow and look at the Django REST framework tagged questions, most of them are answered by Tom Christie. Like, yeah, we could do that.
It's a great way to get Stack Overflow points. Is to write a library.
Yeah.
So I'm new to this. I'm just trying to get my bearings. You've got SQLite, who looks like Django's almost a database caller. What's your front end? I'm just trying to piece this all together from that.
The front end, that's the beautiful thing about making a RESTful API. The front end can be anything you want. I wrote a front end just using argparse, so it's a simple command line client, and I would show it to you if I had 2 minutes to fix my content type issue. Yeah, front end can be anything.
I can comment on that too. We use Angular a lot here at Zaniac, and when we're messing with Django REST framework, we actually can map a JavaScript resource, so it almost exactly corresponds to the model that we're using. And then the other interesting thing or question I had for you was, have you had any experience with model methods? Because I know those can get a little tricky, but writing back to them, is there a way that is preferred for Django REST framework? Or
There's a setter already.
Yeah, there is a setter, right? Yeah, that's where it gets tricky though, right?
If you are just
write a setter, it should just assuming that your value is JSON serializing.
Yeah.
It should just write.
If you're trying to get your bearings on it, Django is it will serve up as raw HTML as well.
Yeah.
So you could just make static pages that you serve up. But that's different than using JavaScript.
Yeah, with Django, you're never talking directly.
Data up that your front end then consumes, and then has its own stuff. Django itself will serve up full HTML.
And you're never.
That's what I'm trying to make the jump, because I'm using Python with CGI. I know it's old, but it's doing the same thing where it's exporting like HTML code and playing back with my localhost. I'm trying to get the mental map of jumping from something like that to something like this.
It's adding a bunch of stuff in between, basically, that you don't have to like write your own template handling, or you don't have to make any database calls directly. Like, I haven't seen raw SQL in our production code at all for a few years. Like, everything's with just models now. Even with we have a geographical layer that'll like figure out your zip code, and it'll figure out the closest Zaniac campus. It's all done with Django.
And that's exactly what I'm looking for, is that mind map of, hey, these are the moving pieces, and how to transition from something like this to.
The very first talk I gave here was a Django talk, so I should probably do another one.
Yeah. Okay, I got a live demo working.
There we go.
All I had to do was migrate content types.
I knew it.
Right?
Just put you back up here.
So PyCharm has a built-in REST client, and I just asked for /API, and it goes out here and tells me that I have books, tags, publishers, and people resources available. If I wanted to ask for books, it would tell me that it doesn't know anything about books.
Do you want to show the built-in one with Django REST framework as well?
Yeah, I probably should. That's a good one.
This is one of my favorite features of it. I'm going to sit down now. /API.
Okay. So it provides this nice browsable API also that you can use for development purposes. So if I click on tags, there's no tags in here right now, but there's a nice HTML form where I can put some tags. Let's track fantasy books and Python books. So now we go back to the tag list, and sure enough, we've got fantasy romance in Python.
Can you write a book?
Can I write a book that is fantasy romance Python? That sounds fun.
Yeah, I thought that's what Monty Python and the Holy Grail was.
Yeah, if we go into
So let's create some. What's your name again?
Justin.
Justin. Yeah. Justin's going to write us a fantasy romantic Python book. Some email. Justin F. Invalid email address because we have a serializer field that needs a real email address.
So this is the dry stuff with Django, by the way, for people keeping track at home, right?
Well, the serializer is REST framework.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But the validation comes with, is it the validation via Django, right? It serializes and then sends it to Django, and Django's like, that's not an email.
No, I think it's REST framework that's doing the validation. Django validates forms, but this is similar to but separate from forms.
But it knows it's an email field from the model definition, right? You didn't have to add.
No, the model is just a char field.
Yeah.
It doesn't know that that's an email field. Is
I didn't see that part.
there an email field in Django?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's where I was getting confused.
So you need to separate. Oh, yes.
In the presentation, we showed a email.
Yeah, if you put front end
Okay, I
validation,
missed
it's
that.
certainly going to give you a better user experience.
Otherwise, you have to see it, right?
Right. Okay, so I've created tags, publishers, and people, and now I can create a book. And it is a fantasy romance Python book published by Tor called Justin's Amazing Book. It's coming out next year.
Better get started.
Yeah, better get started.
It's already published.
You published it with Tachyon Fields.
It's Kickstarter.
Here's the other cool thing, in my opinion. With REST framework, you can consume this resource by writing a client that knows about books, and it knows that they need tags and publishers and URLs and names and years and imprints that are Booleans and authors. Or you can use the standard HTTP method of options and ask it to describe this resource. And REST framework generates this all by itself automatically and will tell us, okay, if you want to post to this resource, you may, but here's what I require. I require an ID field. This was on a specific instance, I think. Anyways, it needs to be of type integer. Oh, it's not required. I'm sorry. It's read-only, so you don't need to worry about that one. But tags is required. Even if it's just an empty list, you have to provide something. Here's your choices. So then you can use the display name and the value to generate a drop-down field, or however you want to present that to your user. It tells you that publisher, again, here's your choices. It tells you that name is a string, year is an integer, imprint is a Boolean. And so you can just take that and say, okay, here's the things I need to know, here's the types they need to be, here's the choices I can give my users. And your API is automatically discoverable. So the client I wrote for this I can just tell this resource books, and it'll find me books. And I can tell it resource books action create. And this client, I didn't tell it anything about the API other than where its root URL is. And so my client is actually going out and using the options to get the list of fields, to find out what types they should be, and it's doing casting to get the correct types. And it created this instance for me. Which I think is cool. All right, that's all I got.
Another round of applause.
How long was that, Ferris?
The first part was about 30 minutes, a little bit less.
That went a lot faster than I thought. I was worried that I was going to go over my 50-minute time. I'm sorry?
That's good.
Good, good.
Definitely show it that the browser is my favorite part, right?
And I pull up the source and write in REST framework field pi. It has from Django core validators import, and it's all the regular Django validators.
There you go.
So it's calling the regular Django validators, but in its own wrappers.
There you go. You were right, Ferris.
Awesome. Does anybody have a number higher than 42? Who's 42? Awesome. Sweet. Doing well. So, it's the last part of the meetup. We got raffle prizes. One of them is actually written by Matt Harrison over here. Thanks again, Matt. He keeps donating books. So a round of applause for Matt. Thank you. And this one is from the group. So Python uses like you, data science from scratch. If you win this one, or if your number gets called, and here's all the code, and it's saved as an IPYNB, so a Python notebook. If your number gets called, you get to pick, or you can pass it on, or you can keep the book, obviously. So let's go. And speaker always gets to hit enter, right? So all you, I think it's shift enter this time. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Yeah, that's the magic part. Just like, edit it quickly. I think, is it control or shift? It doesn't matter, right?
Control enter.
My right control is different. That's why. Yeah, so you have to do shift. Just do shift enter or control enter. No, control enter. There we go. One. Who's number one? Oh, sweet. Oh.
Nice. The real test is if we hit it again and 2 comes out.
Don't freak me out like that. You can't win twice. 38. Sweet. Awesome. So that concludes our meetup. Our next one's going to be August, what was it, 3rd? 3rd, yes, August the 3rd. So that is in, wow, like only 3 weeks. Oh, it's going to be a fun 3 weeks. You don't have to go home. You don't have to, like, or wait, how's it go? I don't know how it goes. Anyway. No, you can stay here and actually help me clean up. And or if you haven't made a donation yet, we do have a square ready to go. Every little cent helps. Fund pizza, raffle prizes, maybe room costs. Maybe if we have enough, we can bring Dan back for whatever reason we want to bring him back. No, Dan's awesome.
So the firehouse can clean power.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want, you can help me clean up. That's also a thing. I would much appreciate it. And if you want to talk to me, I'm going to be walking around giving you random tasks while cleaning up. So thanks, guys. Have a good one.